these things because their children are dope. But Jaden's kind of MIA. And considering that he emancipated from their household at 16 and refused to come back even to do family interviews.
Who knew that your husband was doing things to boys and did stuff to your son and you ain't do shit about it? Bilal told me everything.
Y'all, Jaguar Wright just put Will and Jada Smith on blast for allegedly passing their son Jaden out to Diddy in a recent explosive interview. Okay, at this point, it's starting to look like Jaguar has a personal vendetta against the Smiths, but y'all know Jaguar can't resist saying the truth the way she sees it. In her latest interview, Jaguar claimed Will and Jada have been the ones passing their son around in the industry. She even dropped another bombshell allegation, something along the lines of Lil blanking his own son.
That Will Smith, Jaden, he Bashir and he raped me. You know it, Bilal.
Now, these allegations weren't exactly shocking because we've been hearing rumors about how Will and Jada are not exactly parents of the year. They've allegedly been introducing their children to everything from ecstasy to Dr. Weed from a very young age, which is what pushed Jaden into Diddy's corner. It got so bad that, at some point, Jaden wanted to get emancipated from his parents. I mean, that's what you can expect from parents who are swingers themselves, and Jada literally having an affair with her son's best friend. Girl, get us out of this simulation.
If I was a 16-year-old kid and I had the opportunity to emancipate myself, I wouldn't stick around to watch my mom my friends. I wish my mom would have.
Okay, at this point, we really have to start asking Jaguar where she gets her information from because it looks like she always has tea on everyone. But I'm not complaining though, because how else would we know all the juicy details about Will and Jada Smith and their nasty relationship with Diddy? It's no secret that Will, Jada, and Diddy run in the same Hollywood circle, involved in all the shady business Hollywood A-listers like to dip their hands in. If y'all recall, Jaguar did an interview a few years back where she exposed Will and Jada for taking advantage of young men in the industry in the name of mentorship. She even name-dropped some of them, including Meek Mill, Breezy, and August Alsina.
They're both bisexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bashir Gray, left that house screaming. August, the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
Now, I don't know about the others, but Jada had a very public and messy affair with August Alsina, who also happens to be best friends with her son Jaden. Apart from the type of lesson Jada's infidelity teaches her kids about how adult relationships work, there's a whole other side to unpack about how she was sleeping with her son's friend in the same house her son was living in. As if that wasn't bad enough, Jada went ahead to describe it as a situationship that didn't really mean much to anyone. And the whole time, August was on the internet talking about how he poured his life and soul into the relationship with Jada. Child, I'm not even kidding when I say there are very few things messier than this in Hollywood. But what's interesting is that there have now been rumors that Jada and August's affair was only a cover for other sinister things that were going on in that household around the same time. Allegedly, Justin and August were much more than friends. They were romantic partners who were trauma-bonded over being victims of higher-up men in the industry like Diddy. Now, obviously, a rumored affair between Jada and August, no matter how scandalous it sounds, is more palatable than the PR storm it'll be if word got out that Will and Jada had been giving their son up to their powerful friends. But it gets even more twisted. See, when it comes to Jaden, there have been rumors for a long time that he's on the DL. Do y'all remember how he outrightly called Tyler, the creator, his boyfriend? That's right, during a 2018 Camp Flog Gnaw performance, he took a minute to give Tyler a shout-out, adding that Tyler has actually been his boyfriend for a long time.
I just want to say Tyler, the creator, is the best friend in the world, and I love him so fucking much. And I want to tell you guys something. I want to tell you, Tyler doesn't want to say, but Tyler's my motherfucking boyfriend, and he's been my motherfucking boyfriend my whole fucking life. Tyler, the creator, is my fucking boyfriend. It's true. Yeah.
It sounded playful enough, like something friends would say to each other, but people started wondering if Jaden might have actually been for real when Jaden doubled down on it during an appearance on Apple Music's Beats One radio, where he said, I recently said that Tyler, the creator, is my boyfriend, and that's true, so just so you know. The rumors got even louder in 2020 after Jaden tweeted, "My boyfriend won a Grammy after Tyler won his first ever Grammy for Best Rap Album." Back in 2020, Jaden then tweeted, "Yep, at Tyler the Creator, I told everyone you can't deny it now." Tyler responded to Jaden's tweet saying, "You a crazy dude, man." Again, that can easily be interpreted as just friendly banter, but when you add it to other things we've seen Jaden do publicly, it does make you wonder. For example, the internet had a field day with a video that recently went viral of Jaden and Justin Bieber smooching in public. So, Justin and Jaden go way back, as far back as their 2010 hit song Never Say Never, which later became the theme song for Jaden's breakout movie, The Karate Kid. They've been good friends over the years, although it seems like they might have become something more than friends at some point. During this year's Coachella, a fan caught footage of Jaden sneaking up on Justin and grinding against his behind, while they thought no one was recording the interaction, and when Justin realized it was Jaden, he damn near burst from excitement as he rushed to plant a wet kiss on his neck. Fans absolutely went wild about this video, with one saying, "Nah, the shoulder-to-shoulder back rub after the fat ear, kiss after the hug, and pump from behind is absolutely breathtakingly insane. I had to watch it again because at first I was zoned out and thought, am I tweaking? And then upon realizing, I was like, a hell no." Fans started pointing out that the way Justin and Jaden acted in that video made it obvious that they had had this type of interaction many times before, and if they're willing to do that in public, what type of things do they get down to behind the cameras? Now keep in mind that these two have been friends for a long time, and maybe this is just their thing, but baby, with everything else that's been trending, you got to admit it's difficult for people not to draw lines where they see dots. Besides, Justin was trending not too long ago after fans dug up some pretty disturbing videos of him in different compromising situations. For instance, this one video recently resurfaced where Justin is hanging out with Trey Songz and Odell Beckham, and he appears to be giving Odell that GAW 3000 got that experience.
Oh, I'm coming back. I gotta feel that experience. I'm coming back. Happy New Year!
Girl, did y'all peep how Justin cleaned his mouth after he brought his head back?
Girl, did y'all peep how Justin cleaned his mouth after he brought his head back up? Some people tried to spin the narrative that Justin was just doing that white powder, but Jaguar Wright had something entirely different to say about it.
So when I think about that, and then I think about that really disturbing footage of Bieber, Odell Beckham, and Trey Songz.
Yes.
Like, and Trey's like literally sitting there playing Lookout.
Playing Lookout as Justin Bieber goes down on Odell.
The boy came up with his mouth wet.
Mouth wet.
What?
Dribbling. Now, what they're going to try to say is, no, Justin Bieber was just doing a line of coke. No, he didn't mess with his nose when he came up.
He was doing a line of coke with his mouth.
He wiped his mouth. When you do
his mouth was wet.
You do this when you finish your line.
You wipe your mouth when you suck his dick. That wasn't post-nasal drip. That was seminal fluid.
And is it any coincidence that Trey Songz and Odell Beckham are also close friends with Diddy? Matter of fact, that particular video of Justin supposedly giving Odell the sloppy top sparked rumors that it was Diddy that asked Justin to do it, since they were all at a Diddy party. And if you've heard anything about Diddy parties, then you know all the types of weird stuff that go down at those parties. What's worse is that these parties are the rumored meeting points for older industry men who want to get new boy toys that Diddy is always all too happy to provide, and word on the street is that Diddy likes to catch them young. That's why Diddy felt the need to bring 15-year-old Justin Bieber to his house, doing who knows what for 48 unsupervised hours, and promising him a house and a car after Girl Come On. Diddy also allegedly did the same thing with Usher a few years before Justin fell into his trap. Usher has openly talked about how Diddy introduced him to the adult lifestyle when he went to live with him for the so-called flavor camp.
To New York City. And I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
in the 90s. Do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I ain't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place. And I didn't necessarily understand it.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans,
And your parents
Jodeci,
were
Mary J.
okay?
Blige. They didn't know nothing about this shit.
Oh.
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 a.m. with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem. I had like,
What
like
a
living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Really, what is it with these parents and allowing their boys to be around Diddy Baby? Everything about Usher's experience living with Diddy raises red flags because Usher was basically a 13-year-old getting exposed to things most adults stay away from for their own sanity. And that's why Usher has sworn never to let his own children go anywhere near Diddy or his flavor camp.
You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy camp?
Hell no.
Oh, but it gets even worse. Jan Deal recently dropped a bombshell exposing how Diddy allegedly did some things to Usher that landed him in the hospital.
I know, and people know, that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now, I let Usher explain that to y'all. I let Usher tell that story. But how dare you say a man that groomed you, you gonna give him a pass? Bruh, you know I know.
Now, Jan didn't go into detail, but you can tell from his body language that whatever it was, it must have been horrifying anyway. Word on the street is that Jaden also went through the same young talent to Diddy Boy toy pipeline that Usher and Justin Bieber went through, and the worst part is it was his parents Will and Jada who allegedly introduced him to that lifestyle. The thing is, Will and Jada have never been shy to discuss their intimate lives in front of the whole world, and from what we've heard they like to get freaky. Jada did an interview with The Sun magazine where she disclosed that she and Will are into things like roleplay and swinging. In her book Worthy, she even revealed that they had a special love nest created where they could get hot and sweaty without their kids interrupting to give us our own space. I had even built a separate beautiful love nest for us 2 grown-ups in our bedroom, complete with a domed ceiling full of twinkling stars. And while that's cute, it does make you wonder if Will and Jada really did do everything they could to ensure their kids don't have access to that space when they weren't around to see them. And I don't know, y'all, you've heard how the Smiths talk about each other. Do y'all really think Jaden and Willow weren't experimenting with their parents' love nest when they felt their parents weren't looking? I'll leave that to you. Meanwhile, it's easy to see how Will and Jada could have introduced Jaden to an improper lifestyle because they literally did the same thing to their daughter Willow. If y'all recall back in 2014, Willow and actor Moises AAS caused an uproar when they appeared in a questionable photo on Instagram. In the picture, 13-year-old Willow is seen resting her head on 20-year-old Moises' thigh. The photo immediately went viral and generated heavy backlash for Will and Jada because what kind of parent allows their 13-year-old baby to be in bed with a 20-year-old man? That's literally like throwing your daughter to the wolves to get gore. The backlash was so bad that some people even tried to get CPS involved. Now, you would think all that vitriol would force Will and Jada to say something about how they didn't support the photo, or something, but nope, in fact, they didn't find anything wrong with the photo. Instead, they felt it was an expression of art. Jada did later put out a statement, but it was to call out the haters who were judging her family for an innocent picture. There was nothing inappropriate about that picture or that situation. You guys are projecting your trash onto it, and that's not cool. So if they can do that to their daughter, what are the odds they haven't also introduced their son Jaden to similar toxic situations in the name of art or some other BS like that? In fact, some sickening rumors have been swirling around that Will Smith has been groping and blanking his own son.
Yeah, in that interview, he said a lot. He said a lot.
He said everything but the thing that was important. That he know that Will Smith, Jaden, he Bashir and he Neat Mills, and you know it, Bilal. Now I don't give no how far in the desert you run. You'll go from a Philly to a sand, they'll still get you.
These rumors started about 10 years ago when a video of Will kissing his son smack on the mouth started circulating. Will and Jaden had been doing an interview on The Woody Show in Thailand to promote their new movie After Earth when the interviewer, Woody Malandachina, said, "I sense there's a distance in terms of affection between the general and his son," referring to the characters Will and Jaden play in the movie, respectively. Is it like that at home or no? In trying to prove they were actually affectionate in real life, Will proceeded to plant a big wet one on Jaden's mouth. I mean, parents kiss their children all the time, so it's really not a big deal. But to do it in front of the whole world when the child is clearly uncomfortable with it. Maybe that's taking things a little too far, and for some reason, Will has this weird obsession with kissing his son on the mouth in public. Here he is on the talk show Talk, telling his son to just take one in front of the whole world.
Jaden, just take one, because you've been fighting me the whole press tour. Just take one.
What?
Just take one. I just want to kiss you.
What?
I want to kiss you and just say Jaden.
Keep a smile.
Just keep a smile.
Okay.
Just keep a smile. Just keep a smile.
He did the same thing on the Ellen DeGeneres show, where he even said, "You know, sometimes you're so proud of your kids that you feel like kissing them on the mouth."
Yeah. You know I love him, Ellen. I love him. I do. No, you know, it's I think when you have kids and you love them and you're proud of them, you just want to kiss them in their mouth sometimes.
And even growing up, Willow and Jaden didn't always have the best influences around them. What you typically hear from kids who grew up privileged, like the Smith kids, is that they had external bad influences from maybe friends or just the pressures of fame and wealth. What you don't typically hear is that the parents themselves encourage the children to engage in questionable lifestyles. For instance, Jada herself has admitted multiple times to using alternative medicines and psychedelics, which is just a fancy way to say she's doing drugs. Last year, Jaden spoke at the Psychedelic Science Conference in Denver, where he talked about how Jada introduced the family to psychedelics. "I think it was my mom, actually, that was really the first one to make that step for the family. It was just her for a really, really long time, and then eventually it just trickled and evolved, and everybody found it in their own ways." He even said the experience brought him and his siblings closer. Siblings can argue so much and fight so much, and Lord knows me and my siblings have done so much of that in the past. But the level of love and empathy that I can feel for them inside of the experiences and outside of the experiences has been something that's been profound and beautiful. To be fair, psychedelics have scientifically proven benefits to mood and mental health regulation. However, it's not for everybody, and nobody knows this better than Willow Smith, who once revealed during a Red Table Talk episode that she had been battling THC addiction for a long time and that it got so bad that she started self-harming at some point. Knowing that her daughter had those struggles and that it was actually something that runs in the family, I don't know what it says about Jada that she still introduced her kids to that lifestyle. It looks like the pressures of that lifestyle got to Jaden very early on because, at the age of 15, Jaden decided he had had enough of his family and he requested to be emancipated. Now, Will spoke about this in his memoir, blaming Jaden's wish to emancipate on the failure of their movie After Earth. After Earth was an abysmal box office and critical failure, and what was worse was that Jaden took the hit. Fans and the press were absolutely vicious. They said and printed things about Jaden that I refuse to repeat. Jaden had faithfully done everything that I'd instructed him to do, and I had coached him into the worst public mauling he'd ever experienced. However, others believed that the real reason why Jaden wanted to be emancipated was that he was traumatized by the things he had to do to please his father and the things he got exposed to while living under their roof.
Things because their children are dope, but Jaden's kind of MIA. And considering that he emancipated from their household at 16 and refused to come back even to do family interviews. You know?
Yeah.
Willow's just kind of, she's dope. Too much shit happened in that fucking house.
As for Diddy, he has a history of being around people half his age in very weird or compromising situations. If the claims Lil Rod makes in his lawsuit are anything to go by, then Diddy is fond of bringing underage girls to his house, spiking their drinks, giving them drugs, and taking advantage of them. Lil Rod also claimed that Diddy tried to get him to engage in certain activities and that he fell victim to Diddy's constant unsolicited and unauthorized groping and touching of his behind. However, every time he complained about Diddy's unwanted advances to his chief of staff, Christina Coram, she brushed him off, saying, "You know Sean will be Sean." Jen Deal had a very interesting theory about this. According to him, Diddy usually engaged in these play fights with his intended victims or romantic partners, and on the surface, it looks pretty harmless and playful. So when the victims complain about it, they get told, "Oh, lighten up, Diddy is just playing with you." But in reality, Diddy is using these passive-aggressive play fights to establish dominance in the minds of his victims so they know that, 1. Diddy can hurt them if they don't give him what he wants, and 2. Nobody is going to help them because everyone will think the victim is overreacting or crazy.
He got into the fight and he, play fight. He used to play fight with the pillows, like the pillow fight, that dumb shit like that. That's kid shit to me. But if that's the way they do, that's the way they do. You understand? He used to do it with Kim all the time.
So the horseplay was his way of grooming you in a sense.
Well, that grooming, that's some new shit. You know what I'm saying? We didn't call it grooming back then. That his horseplay was a way of letting you know I could really hurt you if I wanted to. You get it? I could really hurt you. And that's what that kid probably felt. Yo, why he doing me like that? Oh, he just playing with you. No, he was letting you know, if I turn this up, I could really hurt you.
And that was his way of trying to get you to be submissive to him.
Right. He's letting you know, he's putting in your mind, listen here, bro. He's trying to put in his mind, we're playing now. But if I really want to turn this stuff on you, it's on. You ain't got no wins. So that kid is feeling, yo, listen here. In his mind, if you read the documents, in his mind, he was so scared that when he went to other people in the camp and said, why did he treat me? Why did he doing this and doing that? They said, oh, he just playing with you because he love you. He like you. He was trying to instill that fear in you that he had in you.
He got into the fight and he, play fights. He used to play fight with the pillows, like the pillow fight, that dumb stuff like that. That's kid stuff to me, but if that's the way they do, that's the way they do. You understand? He did it with Kim all the time, so the horseplay was his way of grooming you. Well, I don't know about grooming, that's some new stuff, you know what I'm saying? We didn't call it grooming back then. His horseplay was a way of letting you know, I could really hurt you if I wanted to. You get it, I could really hurt you, and that's what that kid probably felt. Yo, why is he doing me like that? Oh, he just playing with you. No, he was letting you know if I turn this up, I could really hurt you. And that was his way of trying to get you to be submissive to him, right? He's letting you know, he's putting it in your mind. Listen here, bro. He's trying to put in his mind, we're playing now, but if I really want to turn this up on you, it's on. You ain't got no wins. So that kid is feeling, yo, listen here, in his mind. If you read the documents in his mind, he was so scared that when he went to other people in the camp and said, why is Diddy treating me like this and doing that? They say, oh, he just playing with you because he loves you, he likes you. No, he was trying to put that instill that fear in you that he had in you. Child, I can't even begin to imagine how terrible this is. Now, according to Jen, this is something Diddy does to all his victims, so if there's any truth to what he's saying, then you can imagine how difficult it will be for someone like Jaden to break out of that cycle. As usual, fans have left comments on this. It wasn't adolescent rebellion when Jaden wanted to be emancipated at 15. Those kids have more than likely seen so much horror in that house around their parents, and of course they wouldn't be well adjusted. And Justin, we need to leave him alone too. The Smiths are to blame for this. Any parent who would allow someone to pimp their kid or kids should do life in jail and shouldn't be near kids, period. It is so sick. But y'all, let me know what you think about this in the comments below.